Well, I do thank the member for Reid for her question. Of course, with her experience as a clinical psychologist before coming into the parliament, she is very well informed about the importance of mental health and, of course, the impacts of access to the internet and some of the dangers that need to be guarded against. And, Mr Speaker, this has been a big week for the principle that the internet platforms need to comply with the rule of law if they're doing business in Australia. And I want to congratulate the Prime Minister and the Treasurer for their leadership as we've passed the News Media Bargaining Code into law. But of course, we are working across the full range of areas where it is important to make sure that the rule of law applies in relation to all of the things that we do online, with the internet being a pervasive part of modern life. And keeping Australians safe online has been a focus for this government since we came in 2013. We established the world's first Children's e-Safety Commissioner to support Australian children experiencing cyberbullying. We expanded the remit of that office to include all Australians and introduced a scheme to support the victims of image-based abuse, an absolute scourge. And in 2019, we responded to the abhorrent Christchurch mosque attacks by adding the abhorrent violent material legislative measures to the powers of the e-Safety Commissioner. And we are going further, Mr Speaker, just this week, introducing into the parliament a bill to establish a new Online Safety Act, which will establish a new scheme to deal with serious cyber abuse of Australian adults. We're building on the success of our scheme to deal with cyberbullying against children, of course a higher threshold, recognising that our adults are more resilient and we need to properly balance freedom of speech issues. But for the first time, there will be the capacity to go to the e-Safety Commissioner if you've been the victim of vicious, abhorrent abuse online, and she will have the power to determine whether that meets the statutory standard, and if so, to issue a takedown notice, and the platforms will be required to comply. We're expanding the cyberbullying scheme so we go beyond social media platforms to, for example, chat services as part of games. We're going to have a basic online safety expectations. And of course, the e-Safety Commissioner will have new powers to go to the platforms, to internet service providers and others and say, give us information about the identity of the person who has posted this abhorrent material, and civil penalties can be levied against that person. So, Mr Speaker, we're determined to keep Australians safe online. The principle we are committed to is that the rule of law must apply in the digital town square as well as in the physical town square.